objectives. At the end of the lecture, you will be able to define cash and marketable securities, explain the three motives of holding cash, state the objective of cash management, describe the different strategies and techniques of cash management, explain the characteristics and types of marketable securities. Lecture outline. The first one we will touch on introduction. We touch on definition, cash and marketable securities. Reasons, motives of a company to hold cash and marketable securities. Management's goal. Cash. Examples of cash inflow and cash outflow. The efficient management of cash. Marketable securities. Characteristics of marketable securities. Types of marketable securities. Let's look at introduction. Definition. Cash is the currency and coin that a firm has on hand, in petty cash drawers, in cash registers, in current accounts at various banks. Marketable securities are short-term, interest earning. It basically means it produces interest income for the business. Money market instrument used by the firm to obtain a return on temporary idle funds. Idle fund basically means that money that put in an account or put it in the cash register that does not produce any return. All right. Example of such marketable securities are treasury bills, which we'll touch on it a bit more at the end of the lecture today. First question, why does a company hold cash and marketable securities? There are three main motives. 1. Transaction motives. 2. Precautionary motives. 3. Speculative motive. The management's goal should be to maintain appropriate level. The word is appropriate level of transactional cash in hand, okay, to meet the disbursement needs that arises in the course of doing business. In short, you need to maintain a certain amount of money, okay, amount of cash to pay off the needs. The disbursement needs, anytime you need to pay off the needs. It's like using an illustration that let's say today you need to maintain $10 to pay for your transportation expense. Your transportation needs, your food needs, okay, your hunger needs is more of hunger needs, or the size of hunger needs. So basically, you need to maintain a certain amount, okay, to meet the needs required. So in this situation is liquidity. You try to minimize the risk of insolvency, okay. Next, you minimize idle cash balance. The word idle is basically cash that is not making money for the business. You try to not to have too much idle cash. Okay, try to maintain as minimum as possible. Because one of the reasons is that even you put the cash in the bank account, the interest earned from the bank account is minimum. All right. So in terms of profitability, you try to maximize the return. Okay, try to make full use of the idle cash as possible and maintain the minimum level of idle cash. The amount of cash balance and the marketable securities held are significantly influenced by the productions. Okay, so basically here we can see the productions here. You build up inventories, you produce the inventories, okay, that basically involve APP and AI. Next is the sales techniques and procedures for collecting accounts, receivables, and paying accounts payable. This influence can be better understood understood through analysis of the firm's operating cycle and cash conversion cycles. Okay, we'll refer to the illustration in the lecture notes below for a manufacturing firm alpha for better understanding. Right. The operating cycle is defined as the amount of time that elapses from the point at which the firms input material and labor into the production process, which indicates by this red arrow here, and at which the cash is up from this point to the point at which the cash is collected from the sales of the finished good products that contains production inputs, all the way to the end of the red arrow indicated from here. So you can see it stretches from the front operation cycle, start from the very first day and ends at the very last day, until the point where the cash is collected from account receivables. Any question regarding operating cycle? Cash conversion cycle, CCC, is the amount of time the firm's cash is tied up between 2 points. First point, payment for production inputs, which is shown in the red cash out, and the sales of the resulting finished product, which shows a blue point, cash in, blue worded cash in. Any questions so far? First method is to accelerate the collection of account receivables. This will shorten the average collection period. Examples, a firm can collect checks by hand. So basically, by collecting check by hand, you'll collect faster in a sense, compared to you wait for the customer to mail the checks to you. Tendency is that the customer will take a long time to mail the check to you. Next, give cash discount. For example, 2% if you pay in 10 days. This has a positive incentive to encourage early repayment from customer. Okay, this will be revisited in the short-term financing lecture. Efficient inventory productions management, shorten AAI. This will reduce the AAI. One strategy is to increase the inventory turnover. Okay, to do so, the firm can increase the raw material turnover. Okay, this will lead to overall increase in the inventory turnover. Reduce the production cycle. Increase finished goods turnover while avoiding stock out, and improve distribution network. So the faster you distribute out the things, you will shorten the production cycle. You will shorten the whole process. C. Stretch AP and stretch account payable. Stretch account payable. Basically prolong the APP, the average payment period. Basically this is to delay cash outflow. A firm can delay its AP, but must not damage its credit rating by not paying on time. So all the above three strategies achieve the goal of managing cash conversion cycles. Any questions so far? Let's touch on the characteristics of marketable securities. The important thing about marketable securities is that it has to be quickly converted into cash. It must be quickly converted to cash in a short period of time. In order to do so, they must have two characteristics. One, it has a ready market. It should have the depth and breadth and depth to minimize the amount of time for conversion. The breadth basically means the number of options. So basically, there are many different types of marketable securities in the market. Depth is basically how deep it is. Within one type of marketable securities, there are how many of units of it. Okay, so basically like T-bonds. There are how many type of T-bonds are there? Okay, within this type of T-bonds, okay, treasury bonds, is it a lot of people trading at it? The quantity of the trading volume, is it high enough? That's where the depth comes in. Next, principle of safety. There should be little or no loss in the value of a marketable securities over time. The securities not only must be sellable quickly, but also must be sellable for close to the amount initially invested. Okay, so for example, consider a security that was recently purchased for $1,000. If it can be sold for quickly for 500, it does not mean that the securities is marketable. You'll basically lost $1,000, lost $500 from that. All right. Any questions so far?